The movie begins where we see Jack, who is sharing a memory of his past of New York City. He is here with a girl, but can't remember her name due to his mandatory memory swipe. The year is 2077 and Jack is a technician and one of the last drone repairmen stationed on Earth. According to Jack, the planet was nearly destroyed 60 years earlier during a war against a race of alien invaders known as scavengers, which we call Scavs. The Scavs destroyed the moon, causing massive earthquakes and tsunamis, and then launched their invasion. They were only defeated by the use of nuclear weapons, which left most of the planet irradiated and uninhabitable. They created the Tet, which is their mission control, and gives them their orders. The few surviving humans migrated to a colony on Titan on the planet Saturn. Titan is powered using energy harvested on Earth by giant ocean-borne power stations. They are called hydro rigs that generate fusion power from seawater. From Tower 49, a base standing above the remains of the northeastern United States, Jack and his partner and lover Vika work as a team. They maintain the autonomous drones that defend the power stations from the few remaining Scav bandits. Jack goes to the field and Vika stays and acts a communication officer for him. They have now 2 weeks left before their mission gets over and they go back to Titan. Jack enters his ship, enters his number as Tech 49 and files off to begin his daily surveillance. Vika informs Jack that she has received a command from Sally, who is their superior at Tet, that 2 drones are offline. Vika gives Jack the location of the drone and Sally asks Vika if they are an effective team and she responds yes. Jack reaches the drone's location and gets down from his plane to repair the drone. He uses his chewing gum to replace some parts of the drone and successfully repairs it. We see some Scavs are watching Jack from a distance, and the drone tries to scan the area but finds nothing and leaves from there. Later, Jack looks worried since the Scavs have increased their activity and stealing more fuel cells. Vika tells him not to worry much as they only few days left on Earth. Jack takes out his bike and goes to find the second drone and finds its location. The drone has crashed in the ground and into a hole, and Jack decides to go inside to look for it. Jack uses a rope to climb down and manages to find the drone signal. Jack realizes that it's a trap and the signal is coming from a device which Scavs have set up. He is attacked by the enemy and they try to capture Jack, but he manages to escape. Jack tries to climb up using his rope, but his rope snaps and he falls down. When he is about to be attacked by the enemy, Drone 166 comes there and kills all the enemies and saves his life. Jack finds a book there and decides to bring it to the tower with him, but finds his bike stolen. While taking shower, he gets some vision of his past, and later, he reads the book he found outside. Jack gives Vika a gift in form of a plant he found, but Vika throws it out saying it could have poisonous gas in it. Vika says they are very close to completing their mission and should not take any risks. The next morning, they wake up to a sound of explosion and find one of the hydro rigs destroyed. Jack goes to check the rig and they find out that the Scavs used fuel cells to destroy it. Vika receives an unknown signal and informs Jack to investigate it. Sally informs Vika that they are assigning more drones for protection and other rigs must be protected by them. Jack traces the signal to a large tower and decides to investigate it. Inside the tower, he finds a repeater signal and cuts its wire, transmitting the signal. Vika finds a set of coordinates from the signal and sees it leads to nowhere. Jack decides to check the perimeter wall and informs Vika he might be offline for some time. We see Jack go to an old house in the forest where he has set up a second home. He has kept books here and listens to music also to relax himself. Suddenly, he sees a ship falling down the sky and decides to check it out. Vika informs him that the ship has crashed in the same place as coordinates before. Vika decides to take permission from Sally on Tet, who refuses her and asks Jack to come back to tower. Jack does not listen to her and goes to the crash site where he sees the ship has been destroyed. On checking the site, he finds 5 pods which have humans in it, and in one of the pod, he finds a woman named Julia from his dreams. Suddenly a drone comes and starts killing the human survivors, but Jack manages to save Julia. Jack brings her back to the tower, and when she wakes up, he is able to recognize Jack and becomes unconscious again. Later, Vika tells Julia that her crew has been killed and she was in Delta Sleep for more than 60 years. Julia is shocked to know this and cries. Julia says her ship, the Odyssey, was a NASA mission, the objective of which she refuses to reveal. Later, Jack tells her that ship Odyssey entered Earth after receiving a signal and also talks about the alien invasion. Vika tells Jack that they need informed Tet and can't trust Julia since she was bought here by Scavs' signal. Jack and Julia decide to go to her ship to retrieve the ship's flight recorder and find out what has happened. When Vika comes to know about this and tries to stop them, but Jack doesn't listen and goes. On reaching the crash site, they are able to find the recorder but are attacked and captured by Scavs. Vika sees all this on her computer and lies to Sally about Jack and requests for a routine drone check. At the Scavs base, Jack wakes up and finds their leader, Malcolm. Jack is shocked to see the Scavs are actually humans and sees many of them living underground. Malcolm says that the alien invasion was a lie. He tells Jack that drones work for the aliens and are programmed to kill humans. He also reveals that he brought down the Odyssey to get hold of its nuclear reactor, which will make the base for his fission bomb. Malcolm hopes to use bomb to destroy the alien command center Tet. He demands that Jack reprogram a captured drone to destroy the Tet by delivering an extremely powerful nuclear weapon. Jack refuses, so they bring out Julia and threaten to kill her, but are suddenly altered of drone attack. The Scavs manage to destroy the drone, and Jack says more will come to look for him. Malcolm releases Jack and Julia and asks them to seek the truth in the radiation zone that Jack is forbidden to enter. Jack is given his old bike and they go back to the place where Jack found the signal. He sends a message to Vika about his safety and Tet decides to send the drones back to patrolling. Julia tells Jack she was on a research flight to Titan and their ship was attacked by aliens. She says Jack, Vika, and all others were on the same ship and were attacked by Tet, and also says she is Jack's wife. Jack cannot believe her, but suddenly gets some vision from past. He says she had proposed Julia here, and she shows him the ring also. They hug each other and Vika sees this through the ship she has sent for them. When they return to the tower, Jack tells Vika the truth, but Vika doesn't believe her and refuses them entry. Vika informs Sally that she and Jack are no longer an effective team. Sally activates a drone that is in the tower, which kills Vika. Before the drone can kill Jack, Julia uses the weapons on Jack's ship to destroy the drone. Sally requests that Jack return to the Tet and bring Julia with him. Jack decides to flee in his ship and is pursued by more drones. While escaping the drones, their ship is attacked and they crash in the radiation zone. Jack decides to check the area and finds a ship has landed here. Jack investigates the ship and comes face to face with Tech 52, a clone of himself. Jack 52 sees Julia and starts getting same memory flashback. Jack 49 attacks his clone and they both start fighting. The gun goes off and hurts Julia and Jack has managed to capture his clone and deactivate the drone. Jack sees Julia is badly injured and decides to look for help. Jack impersonates his clone Tech 52 and activates his vehicle. He goes to Tower 52 and finds an exact replica of his own tower. Inside the tower, he steals a med kit to help Julia and meets a clone of Vika. He is shocked to see her and tells her he will be back soon and leaves from there. He uses the med kit to save Julia and brings her to his second house in the forest. Julia wakes up and tells Jack that he always wanted to build a home like this, and they both share a kiss. Later, they go back to the Scavs to help them and learn the truth. Tet learns about Jack's location and decides to send more drones to kill him. Malcolm tells Jack that Tet is in fact an alien artificial intelligence that seized Earth to exploit the planet's resources. He says Jack and Victoria are just two of many thousands of clones of their original versions. They were created as soldiers to carry out the invasion of Earth and help the drones function to kill all humans. Malcolm saw Jack take a book and save Julia and realized he has some humanity left. Jack decides to help them and fits the drone with a bomb and reprograms it to go to Tet. They prepare to launch the drone but are suddenly attacked with other drones. The drones enter the base and wreak havoc inside, destroying the all things and killing the humans. The humans manage to destroy the drones, but not before the drones manage to destroy the drone carrying the bomb. Malcolm is injured in the fight, and they are forced to find another way to deliver the nuclear bomb to the Tet. Jack proposes delivering the bomb himself, and Julia suggests that she accompany him. Julia says Sally had requested that he bring her to the Tet, and this plan could work. Jack puts Julia to sleep in her pod and readies his ship to go to Tet and informs Sally. During the flight, Jack listens to the Odyssey's flight recorder, which reveals that he and Vika were originally pilots. His mission was to go Titan, but he encountered Tet near Saturn. Sally was their supervisor at NASA Mission Control, with other personnel, including Julia, on board in pods. Upon approach, the Tet drew them in with a tractor beam and Jack decides to send the other crew in space. The crew of Julia orbited Earth for 60 years in Delta sleep until Malcolm sent the signal to recall their craft. Jack remembers all the memories from his past and enters the Tet. Inside the Tet, he is met by an alien triangle structure that had adopted the persona of Sally. Jack opens the sleep capsule to reveal Malcolm inside and Julia is safe at Jack's second home. The two men trigger the nuclear bomb and destroy the Tet at the cost of their own lives. The destruction of the Tet also deactivates the remaining drones around the world and destroys them. Everyone sees that Tet is destroyed and feel happy. 3 years later, Julia is living with her young daughter in the forest home. A group of survivors arrive there, and Jack 52 emerges from the group. Jack 52 reveals that his previous encounter had reawakened memories of Julia. He had searched for her since the Tet's destruction, and is now reunited with his family.